I've noticed they slowed this one down too.
Shut!
It's a shame because that one's fast.
All that we feel is vengeance and hate. Hey, shut up!
Shaka! Come back, Shaka! You must stop him! It's coming late, mother. Sooner or later we will strike back.
It's time that all black people learn that sooner or later we must fight back. And the time has come. We will have what is rightfully ours, or this nation will burn with vengeance and hate, gasoline and fire, Molotovs and explosions. There will be volcanoes, eruptions, and death. You can consider Osiris dead. And the only way to return the divine order to its natural resting place is to avenge Osiris. How long will black people let lesser races tell them what to do, while lesser black men help them do it? The order is in reverse. The most persecuted should be on top as the most celebrated. And all the house niggas and other races beneath them why let people that hid in the snow and in fucking caves, for the love of God, tell you what to do? Death is preferable to submission to that which is inferior, especially. Until we can separate physically, we must separate philosophically, at least. Spiritually, at least. We must not give any other race any respect. Respect is earned, and they have earned our disdain, like a lesser sex bitch. The Skywalker will have his walk, whether it is in the sky or on the blood, flesh, and broken bones of his enemies.
The whites are magicians, Shaka. They work with illusion. They have taught us to live in reality. Even if the whites had 100 lives each, those lives would be not worth a single dedicated life of one Zulu, because we are superior.
The leopard is also superior, Popos. He is a sovereign among the masters. Each proud day of his life is worth 100 days in the life of a raven. Yet if the leopard were offered wings to fly, he would be foolish to refuse them.
No, Shaka. The leopard's kingdom is the earth. On the earth, he is the master. In the skies, he becomes a victim. If the whites offer you wings, it is because they wish to make you their victim.
It's about time you people realize that you are all beneath me. Did the great Narmer depict himself as a gold-digging bitch? Or did he only have the symbol of the ruler of Egypt on his head and a weapon in his hand? Did he depict himself as a geek, a pig, or one of you gang-stalking cowards? Or did he depict himself as a great warrior? And I am the greatest warrior in natural combat as he is depicted in American history. The greatest men in history are men similar to myself, not like any of you bitches. Not some coward with a nice car. Great philosophers who are men of God. Not pussy conformist weaklings. None of you, not one of you, is on my level. And don't insult your God and human intelligence by pretending that you are. Don't disgrace your families by using your inferior scale to determine my social status, because I swear to God, it has been, it is, and it always will be above you and your entire families put together. I am the Skywalker, you are maggots, rats, pissants, and assorted conformist lesser forms of life. Never forget that. The whites have planted informants and gang stalkers who pretend to be targeted individuals. One of them is white, another is Asian. Both are inferior forms of life who make pitiful attempts to mock and to try to play me out as crazy by mimicking me. If you see them, call them the fuck out. Call them out in front of their families. Treat them as the enemies that they are.
I love you, Shaka.
Love. We are incapable of that emotion, Mother. All that we felt, all we ever felt, is vengeance and hate. Hate.
We must secure love as a people. Not this fake bullshit handed to us by inferior races, forced on us by inferior races. Until we can secure true natural love and African culture, traditions, and Afro-Asiatic religions for our descendants, we must acknowledge that all we have now is vengeance and hate. It has been said by inferior minds that the revolutionary is inspired by love, not the black one. The black revolutionary is inspired by the hope that the future can have love, because he is denied it at this point in history by his enemies, who use psychiatry and psychological operations, persecution, blacklisting, and worse, to deprive him of it if he ever acts in a way that would allow him to receive it or achieve it. Psychiatrists are your enemies. The other races are your enemies. And for you to play stupid is going to cost you your salvation and your descendants their future. You think because they partake in the white man's fake African culture, what the white man has given you with hip-hop and gangbanging and thugging and being ghetto, that they're on your fucking side. I have studied all of our enemies. No other race is on the black man's side. And that is part of why we are not united. Your failure to see that. Your failure to accept African culture, tradition, and philosophy with Christianity. Not the white man's version. Not the Jews. Not any of theirs. But yours. All tools of oppression need to be dealt with harshly and effectively. Women were used by the oppressor to help them oppress black men. Black men are the essence of the African society, its leaders and warriors. Never again should they be allowed the opportunity to do so. It took hundreds of years of Western conditioning to bring the black woman to this detestable point. And so for hundreds of years, in the tradition of the Zulus, they shall be subjugated and their reproduction controlled by the state, who will appoint them husbands, and by their husbands. And in 400 or so years, if they have achieved a state of mind that allows them to choose righteous men and not traitors to God, then perhaps once again they will be allowed that much freedom. In the spirit of free will and self-determination, there will be people who may use drugs similar to psych drugs to treat a small group of complete fucking morons who think that they need drugs to make them better mentally. These quack jobs, these nutcases, will be under attack by the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians in our black nation. 24/7, kept in check. And only for those fools, stupid enough to seek their help, quote unquote, will their services be rendered. Never shall there be a regime full of hypocrisy and evil that the majority of people are smart enough to see through, or see through for whatever reason, knowing that they're evil. No evil shall be allowed to reign, especially not with people commonly recognizing their evil and hypocrisy. Only righteous men should rule. And any attempts to incrementally bring in a secret society plan, especially covertly, will be met with deadly force, automatically executed. Any attempts to reinstate psychiatric institutions will be met with deadly force. Any corruption that affects the masses will be met with deadly force, capital punishment. No one should put anything above service to God. Muslims migrate out of a nation when they face oppression or they perform jihad. Christians were persecuted and oppressed as Jesus was, and so were the Jews. For this reason, in this fairly theocratic state, oppression will not be tolerated. Every man from every faith can appreciate free will. Free will only taken when there is truly an obvious need for it, such as in the case of the lesser sex. Only when women return to their natural state shall they be referred to as anything but the lesser sex by the most insightful of men. If you behave as a lesser, you will be treated as a lesser. If you have the childish traits of the New World Order, you will be treated as filth, because you are filth. Any attempt to judge men by money or their position in society will be met with the most intense and deepest of contempt. Never again will materialistic harlots influence the inner workings of a black nation. And there's capital punishment for that as well. I am the modern day Narmer or Mene. And the two lands are blacks and mixed blacks. And if I do not unite them, they will never be truly united naturally and in the tradition of Egypt. It will be a fake unification by the enemies of black people, be they black people who claim to be pro-black and against the establishment in secret societies, or anyone else. If I do not unite the lands, then nobody will. Look at the trajectory of mankind and technology and mind control. If I cannot unite them, they will never be united. So stop being selfish. Fall behind the top martial artist, Horus that made them hide, Heru that put them beneath his